Is Roblox actually taking over the entire internet? I know that sounds dramatic, but hear me out. For years, we've seen platforms copy each other, but recently, it feels like the Roblox way of doing things, especially the controversial stuff, is starting to bleed into apps that have nothing to do with blocky avatars. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot to get through today. We are talking about major games being deleted from specific countries for reasons that make zero sense, entire servers organizing massive protests that actually made it onto national television, and, wait for it, the ability to rent virtual clothes. Yes, renting. So, if you want to know why players in Brazil are rioting, and why Bruno Mars is suddenly a Roblox character, stay tuned. But before we dive into the madness, I have a small favor to ask. We are working incredibly hard to bring you the deepest dives into Roblox news every single week. If you enjoy staying ahead of the curve, do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button. It's free, it helps the channel grow, and let's be honest, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Alright, let's get into it, okay? Let's start with the theory that Roblox is influencing the big tech giants, specifically Discord. Recently, a screenshot started floating around that sent people into a bit of a panic. It looks like Discord is testing a new feature for age-verified servers. Now, where have we heard that before? Oh, right, Roblox. The concept is pretty simple, but also kind of terrifying for privacy advocates. To join certain groups or servers, you would need to upload a government ID to prove you are over 18. Sound familiar? It's basically the exact same system Roblox rolled out for voice chat and 17+ experiences. The question is, did Roblox start a domino effect? Because for the longest time, the idea of giving your ID to a gaming platform felt crazy. But Roblox normalized it, they made it a requirement for the cool features. And now, it looks like Discord sees that it works, or at least that people are willing to do it, and they're following suit. It makes you wonder, if Discord adopts this, who is next? Twitter? Instagram? Are we moving toward a future where being anonymous on the internet is basically impossible, all because we wanted to use voice chat in Brookhaven? It's wild to think about, but the influence is undeniable. Speaking of government policies, let's talk about what is happening with Roblox VNG. If you don't know, VNG is the special version of Roblox published specifically for Vietnam to comply with local laws. Well, things are getting messy. Reports are coming in that major games are being deleted from the platform. The biggest victim recently? Rivals. Now, Rivals is a shooter game. It's competitive. It has weapons. But here is the official reason for the deletion: high violence. Here is where it gets hypocritical. The company managing this, VNG, is the same publisher that partners with franchises like Call of Duty in the region. You know, Call of Duty? The game that is literally about war. But apparently, blocky characters shooting lasers or paintball guns in Rivals is just too violent for the platform. It leaves developers in a really scary spot. Imagine spending months building a game, getting a massive player base, and then waking up one day to find it wiped off the face of the earth because it was deemed too violent by a company that sells war games. It makes absolutely no sense, and it's a grim sign for the future of global Roblox accessibility. If you are still watching, do me a favor and comment the word domino down below. I want to see how many of you are paying attention to the Discord situation. Also, check your subscription status. YouTube sometimes unsubscribes people for no reason. Okay, back to the drama. Now, this next story is actually mind-blowing. Usually, when Roblox players are mad, they go to Twitter. They make a rant video. They complain on Discord. But in Brazil, they took it to a whole new level. Roblox recently pushed an update that restricted chat features heavily. It messed with the way people communicate, filtered innocent words, and just generally made the social experience a nightmare. The Brazilian community was not having it. They organized massive in-game protests. I'm talking about servers full of people, marching together, holding signs, spamming chat with slogans against the update. And it got so big that it wasn't just on Roblox anymore. This made national news. CNN Brazil, yes, the actual CNN, covered the story. They had headlines about children and teenagers organizing digital protests against censorship and platform updates. It just goes to show the sheer scale of Roblox. This isn't just a game anymore. It's a social network, and when you mess with the ability to talk, people will rebel. It's honestly kind of inspiring to see the community mobilize like that, even if the update itself was trash. Alright, let's cleanse the palate with something a bit weirder. Bruno Mars. Remember when Lil Nas X did his concert? It was huge. It was an event. It had custom motion capture, a giant avatar, glitch effects. It felt like a spectacle. Well, Bruno Mars decided to hop on the trend, but in a different way. He collaborated on the Roblox game Steal a Brain Rot. It's like a quirky trivia game show. The event peaked at something insane, like 12.7 million visits. The numbers were there, but the concert, it left a lot of people scratching their heads. It wasn't really a grand performance. It was more like Bruno Mars was just there. A lot of players felt it was underwhelming compared to the high bar set by previous concerts. It feels like brands are realizing they don't need to spend millions on a custom experience. They can just slap an NPC into a popular game and get the same views. It's smart for marketing, but kinda boring for us players, don't you think? And finally, we have to talk about the economy. Roblox is testing a feature that allows you to rent UGC items. Here is the math. You can buy an item permanently for, say, 70 Robux. Or you can rent it for 3 days for 30 Robux. Who is this for? If I rent it twice, I have paid 60 Robux for 6 days. For 10 more Robux, I could have owned it forever. It feels like a trap for younger players who don't understand value. It's just another way to drain Robux from the economy without giving you anything tangible in return. But looking ahead to 2026, the UGC tools are getting crazy. We are talking about custom makeup, fully custom animation packs, walking, running, swimming, and even emissive maps. That means creators can make items that glow. They can make items that are transparent. On one hand, this is awesome for creativity. On the other hand, remember when glowing items were special? Remember when having a Valk or a Domino crown meant something? If anyone can make a glowing sword for 50 Robux, does it ruin the prestige of the classic items? I think it might. So, would you ever rent an item? And do you think the glowing UGC will ruin the game's style? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.